Hello everyone. Welcome to second video lecture of topic beta lactam antibiotics. In last video we learned about beta lactam antibiotics. Amongst that we discussed about penicillin, right? In today's video lecture we are going to learn about the second group of this beta lactam antibiotic, that is cephalosporins, plus some other atypical beta lactam antibiotics, and one another group that is known as beta lactamase inhibitors, right? So in last lecture we learned all the things about penicillin, mechanism of actions, its classifications, adverse effects and uses. Hope you have gone through all this. Um these are very important topics. Okay, so in today's lecture, we are going to first learn about this cephalosporins. Now, this cephalosporin group of antibiotics is very important because in the recent time, it is one of the chief antibiotics uh, which are used very widely. Means if you will go in the OPD or anywhere, you will make a survey, or you can say prescription audit of the prescriptions, you will find that this cephalosporins are the major part of prescriptions nowadays, right? So it is very important to learn about this cephalosporins. Structure wise, again, you don't need to remember, but it also contains beta lactam ring, and these cephalosporins are made to overcome the resistance that was the major part of limitations of penicillin, right? Okay, before going for the classifications, cephalosporins no mechanism of action je છે, it is same as penicillin, right? It inhibits cell wall synthesis, right? uh, the cell wall lysis જે થાય છે penicillin ની અંદર, same thing occurs with the cephalosporin. So no need to go in the specific details of mechanism of action of cephalosporins. So we'll directly start with the classification format wise, right? Now, classification of cephalosporin is one of the, you can say, difficult classifications in whole pharmacology to remember, right? So for that you will have to make some effort to remember whole this classification. They are divided into the generations, right? First generation, second generation, third, fourth and fifth generation. Total 5 generations of cephalosporins are there, and they are made according to their innovations, right? Fifth generation are the latest one, and first generation are the first one. So my advice is to remember this classification. Please make mnemonics according to your idea, right? If I will give you mnemonic, you won't remember it easily, right? So my advice is make a mnemonic for each generation, and then that's how you will easily remember, right? Otherwise, as I said earlier, for classification and name of the drugs, there is no other way except remembering it, right? So first generation, these are the parenteral preparation, these are the oral, again second parenteral and oral, third generation parenteral and oral, fourth generation parenteral, and fifth generation. Now individual drugs we'll discuss later, but let's start with something, that how we are going to differentiate this cephalosporins. In textbook they have given individual drug wise, right? For example, cefazolin to cefazolin characteristic likewise. But what I feel is that you have to first, you need to have a overall idea about the cephalosporins. So there are 3 main characteristics which differentiate all the cephalosporins, right? These 3 characteristics are: first is spectrum, means they differ spectrum wise; second is their pharmacokinetic characteristics, right? And third is their susceptibility to beta lactamase enzyme. So these are the 3 key features which make them different from each other. So we'll discuss all the cephalosporins in this broader concept, and then we'll discuss individual drugs. So this broader concept will help you to differentiate the general characteristics of all the cephalosporins. Okay, so we'll start with the spectrum first, right? Antibacterial spectrum માં આ બધી generation કેવી રીતે differentiate થાય છે, that we'll learn first. So spectrum wise, this picture is from the book H.L. Sharma, and they have very nicely differentiated spectrum of all the generations, right? And they are easy to remember. As I told you in the very first lecture of the sulfonamides, that no need to remember organism's name, remember organism's name in the microbiology and apply it in the pharmacology, right? Just remember here the class and then write down the name that you know. So for first generation, this is the spectrum. See, it is more active against gram-positive cocci, then next is negative bacilli, then positive bacilli, and then negative cocci. So this is the spectrum of first generation cephalosporin, most active against gram-positive cocci and least against gram-negative cocci, right? Now if you move from first to second generation, right, you have to just shift this negative one at the starting points. Means the second generation cephalosporins are more active against gram cocci and bacilli, then comes positive cocci, then positive bacilli. So here is the differentiation. First karta second generation no spectrum negative organism બાજુ વધારે છે, and it also includes anaerobes. So this is the spectrum of first generation and then second generation. Now, so this is again second generation. From moving second generation to third generation, here only differentiation is that અહીંયા જેમ differentiation positive cocci bacilli માં હતું અહીંયા જતું રહ્યું. Both for positive cocci and positive bacilli, they have equal activity, right? And plus anaerobes માટે પણ એ active છે. So third generation cephalosporin અત્યારે in the recent time જો કોઈ most widely used cephalosporin હોય તો that is third generation cephalosporins. So this is how the spectrum evolves, right? Now moving from third to fourth, third માં કેવું હતું? This is again આગળની પેલામાંથી છે, gram negative cocci bacilli more than positive cocci bacilli. Here this remains same, but some organisms which were resistant to third, any against fourth generation is active. Plus differentiation point is that they are not active against anaerobes, while third generation was active against anaerobes also, right? Otherwise these both are same, but you can say that fourth generation have wider spectrum than the third generation. Evolving from fourth generation to fifth generation, right? આ fourth generation નો spectrum છે. Here negative cocci સામે બહુ activity નથી. Negative cocci ની જગ્યાએ આવી ગયું positive cocci, and negative માં જે અહીંયા resistant હતા fourth generation માં, including E. coli and Pseudomonas. આગળ discuss કર્યું હતું Pseudomonas very notorious organism, so they are included in fifth generation. Plus એક last penicillin માં discuss થયું હતું methicillin resistant staph aureus, right? That is also very notorious. So it is also included in the spectrum of fifth generation and limited about the anaerobes. No negative cocci activity, no positive bacilli activity. So this is how you can remember spectrum of all the generation sequence wise, right? This is how it evolves. પહેલા ખાલી negative positive cocci સામે activity હતી, પછી negative સામે activity વધી, right? Then included anaerobes, then with increased spectrum, same spectrum, sorry, with the same group, increased spectrum, and then last one included dangerous, some notorious organisms like Pseudomonas and MRSA. So this is how you can overall remember. Now in each category you can add on the names, right? Negative cocci, positive bacilli likewise, and that's how you can remember the spectrum. So that is first point we have learned, that is how all the generations they differ in the spectrum wise, right? Now, second important point comes is their susceptibility to beta lactamase, right? જ્યાં સેકન્ડ લાસ્ટ પોઈન્ટ છે. સ્પેક્ટ્રમ આપણે ડિસ્કસ કરી લીધું ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ સ્લાઇડમાં, એટલે આ પોઈન્ટ અહીંયા આ પિક્ચરમાં નથી ડિસ્કસ કરતા. બીટા લેક્ટમેઝ એક્ટિવિટી. So first generation, they are very much susceptible to beta lactamase. Right? Beta lactamase enzyme શું છે? They are produced by the organisms which can destroy or which can open the beta lactam ring of the antibiotic, so that antibiotic activity will be gone. So this particular group, first generation, it is very susceptible, except staphylococcal માંથી જે beta lactamase બને છે એની સામે resistant છે. Otherwise they are susceptible to all the types of beta lactamase. So another word we can say that first generation na resistance વધારે હશે, right, in the community. For second generation, they are highly resistant to gram negative, right? So second generation જે છે it comparatively resistant to beta lactamase છે, એટલે compared to first they are you can say more sensitive to the organisms. And third generation એમાં particularly કોઈ નથી gram negative but they are highly resistant to overall all the type of beta lactamases, right? Next જ્યારે beta lactamase inhibitor આવશે ત્યારે હું કહીશ there are various types of beta lactamases also. So this is how they differ from their beta lactamase activity. First generation એ very susceptible છે એટલે એના resistance વધારે હશે. Second અને third એ step wise comparatively ઓછા susceptible, less susceptible to the beta lactamase activity. Fourth and fifth generation જે લખેલું નથી, but fourth and fifth generation they are also very less susceptible to beta lactamase activity. બીજો જે important point છે to differentiate amongst all the generation is their capability of penetrating blood-brain barrier, to cross the blood-brain barrier. First generation લાસ્ટમાં છે, લાસ્ટ કોલમ જે લાસ્ટ પોઈન્ટ જે છે બેટા લેક્ટમેઝ પછીનો. So first generation એમાંથી કોઈ પણ they are not capable of crossing blood-brain barrier. So in other words we can say that for the CNS infections first generation cannot be used. In second generations only cefuroxime is the drug which can cross the blood-brain barrier, so it is active, means used against CNS infections. And third generation under most of the drugs can cross blood-brain barrier. So this is third important points which differentiates all the three generations. Fourth and fifth ma again blood-brain barrier ma mostly they can cross blood-brain barrier and can be used for CNS infections. Okay, so we have discussed spectrum first, how they are different in spectrum wise, then their susceptibility to beta lactamase, and then their characteristic for crossing blood-brain barrier. Another important pharmacokinetic points to differentiate all these generations is first and second generation cephalosporins, they are excreted through kidney. So that makes sense that if the patient is having some renal disease, you need to either stop this or you need to adjust the dose depending upon the condition of the patient, right? In third generation, two cephalosporins are there which are having bile excretion, cefoperazone and ceftriaxone. So rest of all the first, second and rest all the third generations, they are having kidney excretion. So if patient is having kidney disease, your drug of choice should be either ceftriaxone or cefoperazone. So this is one another pharmacokinetic parameter to differentiate all this generations of cephalosporins. So this is how we have discussed this classification, how we can differentiate all the 5 generations according to their spectrum, according to their beta lactamase activity and pharmacokinetic parameters. Okay, if you remember this, you will easily remember the uses depending upon the spectrum and some other characteristic feature also, right? Now we'll discuss some important points of individual drugs, right? કારણ કે આ બધા જનરેશનની અંદર there are some particular drugs, some drugs are there which are not used widely nowadays, while some drugs are there which are very widely used, right? So we'll discuss like that wise. So in first generation, these are the parenteral preparation, while cephalexin, cefadroxil, these two are oral preparation, right? Cefareddin is the used in both, right? So આ બધાની અંદર as we discussed that first generation એક તો beta lactamase થી susceptible છે, resistant highly છે, second cannot cross the CSF blood brain barrier and penetrate into CSF. Third important point in the spectrum we discussed, any activity તમે જોવો તો mostly gram positive કોકાઈ સામે છે. So we can say that આની અંદર બહુ few drugs છે which are nowadays used commonly. એની અંદર એક આવે છે cefazolin, right? Cefazolin જે છે it is used for the surgical prophylaxis, right? Otherwise એ સિવાય બીજી drug જે છે એને તમે serious infection માટે consider કરી શકો એટલી activity છે નહીં, right? Cefadroxil જે છે it is still used for the skin infections, right? The skin infection ની અંદર cefadroxil use થાય છે and cefazolin for the surgical prophylaxis. So these are the two commonly used drugs in case of first generation, remember, right? Now in second generation if we go, right, second generation ની અંદર જે commonly used થતી drug છે it is cefaclor and cefprozil. આ જે છે oral drug છે cefaclor and cefprozil, they are the commonly used oral drug, right? And they are mostly used for upper respiratory tract infection. One another commonly used drug is cefuroxime, right? It is also used for the respiratory tract infections and it is resistant to beta lactamase activity, right? બાકી આ cefamycin is also used. બીજી જે cefamendol કરીને એક drug છે, right? It is also in second generation. It is used for the STD infections, right? So this is the in general features of second generation this cephalosporins. Coming to third generation cephalosporins, as I told you earlier that this third generation is one of the at present जो कि most commonly used થતી cephalosporin હોય so that is third generation. All the compounds are, you can say, used very commonly, right? So ceftriaxone, if we start with this parenteral, ceftriaxone is one of the most commonly used this third generation cephalosporins, usually for the community acquired pneumonia, hospital acquired infections, this complicated UTIs, it is very commonly used. Cefotaxime is also very commonly used, right? Cefoperazone it is having activity against pseudomonas also, right? So cefoperazone is also used. Cefixime and this cefpodoxime but cefixime, if you go, it is very popular by the brand name Zifi, right? બીજી પણ ઘણી brand છે, but અત્યારે જો oral ની અંદર સૌથી commonly used થતી third generation cephalosporin or even in all the class of cephalosporins koi hoy so that is cefixime, right? 200 to 400 mg BD is the dose for it and it is very widely used for respiratory tract infections and urinary tract infections, right? It is also active against pseudomonas and staph aureus also, right? Okay, fourth generation, fourth and fifth generation compounds, they are used, they are newer one but still not much in practice because third generation compounds they are still active, right? And that's why we continuously you can say we enforce that using antibiotics wisely is very important, because if you say if we'll first second generation માં તો resistant આવી ગયા છે, third generation માં પણ જો resistance આવી જશે તો પછી fourth fifth પછી newer innovations આવ્યા નથી, right? So we'll have resistant, overall developing resistance, and which might lead to some dangerous effects. So cefepime, cefepirone, they are having very good activity. They are resistant to beta lactamase, right? And they are you can say they are used for the streptopneumoniae and other serious kind of infections. Fifth generation, they are having activity against penicillin resistant strep pneumonia plus MRSA, જે હમણાં વાત થઈ methicillin resistant strep aureus, right? So it is also having activity against MRSA also. આની અંદર બે છે, સેફ્ટોબાઇપ્રોલ અને સેફ્ટારોલિન બીજું છે. સેફ્ટારોલિન પણ યુઝ થાય MRSA માટે. So this is all about individual compounds, right? So you have to remember spectrum. However, now it depends upon you. If you want to remember individually, you can remember individually જે રીતે બુકમાં આપેલું છે like that wise, but I think it will be more easier to remember how they differentiate, right? How they are different from each other in spectrum, in their pharmacokinetic parameters, and their beta lactamase activity, and then remember individual activities. Okay, so that was all about in general characteristics of individual groups of cephalosporin. Next thing is adverse effects that we'll discuss in general of all the generations, right? Pain, if they are given parenterally, pain at the injection site, thrombophlebitis, they are the common side effects. Diarrhea, cephalosporins are known, diarrhea any બહુ known side effects is એવી રીતે amoxicillin ampicillin માં હતી, એવી રીતે diarrhea is also well known to cephalosporin side effects. Hypersensitivity reactions, like penicillin, some cephalosporins, the incidence is less compared to penicillin, but it is still there. There is can be a cross sensitivity also, means a patient is having allergic reaction to penicillin, they can also have allergic reaction to cephalosporin also, right? So hypersensitive reactions ranging from rashes to anaphylactic reactions can occur. Some are nephrotoxic, bleeding and thrombocytopenia are also some effects of some cephalosporins. So these are in general adverse effects. Okay, uses we have discussed in individual compounds, but still we'll discuss in which type of infections. There's overall discussion about the uses of cephalosporins. Cephalosporins are having a wide spectrum of uses. You will see that in various types of infections they are widely used, right? As an alternative to penicillins, right? Now they are the drug of choice. Wherever the penicillin used thata tha, most of the infections near the cephalosporins have replaced, right? Common infection hoy to first generation can be used, and some serious kind of infections second and third generations are used. Respiratory tract infections, urinary tract infections, and soft tissue infections, they are mostly caused by gram negative organisms, so can be treated by, if you are serious kind of way, you can go for fifth generation, otherwise third generation cephalosporins are enough for it, right? Septicemias, you can use these drugs along with the combination also, like aminoglycoside, the antibiotic આપણે પાછળ discuss કરીશું, but you can use for septicemia, you can use it for surgical prophylaxis, right? Surgical prophylaxis ની અંદર cefazolin જે મેં વાત કરી first generation, it is commonly used. Meningitis ની અંદર you can use third generation, it is a CNS, જ્યાં CNS penetration વધારે હોય, that is third generation, so we'll use mostly third generation in case of meningitis. Gonorrhea ની અંદર again third generation is the drug of choice, right? એમાં mostly ceftriaxone parenteral is used. You can use it with the combination of other drugs also, right? And orally જો use કરવાનું હોય તો cefuroxime can be used, or otherwise the cefotaxime parenteral can be used. Typhoid, now typhoid is one of the common infections in the community, and cephalosporins are the drug of choice for the typhoid, right? બે drug છે, એક તો quinolones માં use માં આવી દો typhoid, and second is this cephalosporins. આ બંનેની અંદર first choice is cephalosporins. મોસ્ટલી કોમ્બિનેશનમાં યુઝ કરે છે cephalosporin પ્લસ ક્વિનોલોન્સ, બટ બંનેની અંદર જો કોઈ ચોઇસ હોય તો ગો ફોર ધી cephalosporin, right? Cephalosporins are the first drug of choice for the typhoid infection. Hospital acquired serious infections ની અંદર third generation, fourth and fifth generation can be used. mixed infections or MRSA infections hoy, then you should go for 5th generation. So this is all about overall uses, right? So that's all about cephalosporins. Remember, spectrum, pharmacokinetic and beta-lactamase activity, then individual compounds, and then this uses and adverse effects. So we have learned about two important groups, penicillins, જે ગઈકાલના વિડિયો લેક્ચરમાં, and today cephalosporins. Now rest of the things are some atypical drugs which are not penicillin by itself, not beta-lactam group, typical beta-lactam antibiotic by itself, but they are related to it. એની અંદર પહેલું છે beta-lactamase inhibitors, right? Now this group of drugs, as we have seen that beta-lactamase is the important enzyme which is produced by the organisms and which destroy beta-lactam ring of our this antibiotic and make them inactivity. So we have developed synthetic compound which has activity against that beta-lactamase enzyme, means as a bacteria beta-lactamase enzyme produce કરે છે એને inhibit કરી દેશે. So as such this compound they do not have antibacterial activity, means કે gram positive cocci negative bacilli એને inhibit નથી કરતા. But if you give in combination with penicillin group or cephalosporin group, what they will do કે beta-lactamase જે penicillin amoxicillin ને પૂરું inactive કરી દેતો હતો, that will be inhibited by this. So in combination you will achieve higher spectrum, higher activity against the organism. So એની અંદર ત્રણ છે, clavulanic acid, sulbactam and tazobactam. Clavulanic acid important છે, it is by itself it doesn't have antibacterial activity, but it will inhibit beta-lactamase, so it will help to other penicillin drugs, right? It is progressive inhibitor, means જેમ એની activity વધતી જાય એમ inhibition વધતું જાય. It is also known as seaside inhibitor. કેમ? Once it will bind with this beta-lactamase enzyme, it itself will become neutral, means inactive. That's why it is known as suicide inhibitor. Oral and injectable બંને ફોર્મમાં it is given. Mostly it is given with the amoxicillin, combination with amoxicillin. એટલે amoxicillin સાથે તમે clavulanic acid આપો એટલે amoxicillinનું પોતાનું સ્પેક્ટ્રમ જે beta-lactamaseથી ઓછું થતું હોય, right? Clavulanic acid શું કરશે? beta-lactamase ને inhibit કરી દેશે. So amoxi plus clavulanic, this is the FDC again, fixed dose combination, it will achieve higher spectrum, right? So active against some serious organisms like influenza, Klebsiella, right, gonorrhea, E. coli, એ બધા સામે it is given. Here it is the example, you can see Augmentin, it's a brand name, amoxicillin plus clavulanic acid combination ની અંદર single tablet આવે, right? Other skin, soft tissue infection, intra-abdominal gynecological infections where it is used. So adverse effect is same as, કારણ કે adverse effect એની પોતાની usually કાંઈ નથી, પણ amoxicillin ની સાથે આવે. Same way second જે છે sulbactam, right? It is also progressive inhibitor, but it is less potent than this clavulanic acid. Can induce chromosomal beta-lactamase. Now what does it mean? Now again remember, when you will learn in microbiology, there are types of beta-lactamases also, right? And various types છે, functional classification છે કે type 1, type 2, 3, 4 and up to 5, class 4, 5 સુધીના એના classifications છે, right? So બધા અલગ અલગ ટાઈપના clavulanic acid છે એ usually class 1 ને inhibit નથી કરતું, બાકીના બધાને inhibit કરે. Likewise sulbactam is also having same activity, but it can induce chromosomal beta-lactamase. That means that there are some substances in presence of which organism will produce more beta-lactamase, right? એને કહેવાય chromosomal induction of beta-lactamase. એટલે શું થાય? સપોઝ ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ clavulanic acid ની પ્રેઝન્ટમાં organism will produce more beta-lactamase. So what will happen? That it will inhibit more beta-lactamase due to presence of more beta-lactamase. So ultimately there will be more inhibition of that organism. So this clavulanic acid is chromosomal induction, while the sulbactam is not having induction of chromosomal beta lactamase. That's why it is less potent. It is given parenterally. Used in penicillin is producing Neisseria gonorrhoeae and mixed infection. Side effects are common as clavulanic acid. Tazobactam આના જેવું જ છે, like sulbactam also, and usually it is given in the combination with piperacillin. Piperacillin આપણે antibiotics penicillin ની અંદર જોયું હતું, semi-synthetic penicillin ની અંદર. So piperacillin tazobactam combination જેવી રીતે amoxicillin clavulanic FDC popular છે, એવી રીતે piperacillin and tazobactam FDC is popular, used for very severe infection like peritonitis, urinary tract, respiratory tract infection, but it doesn't have activity against Pseudomonas, right? So this was beta lactamase inhibitor. Short questions ni andar widely puchai છે, right? So remember, these are very important and widely used. If individual penicillin or if individual cephalosporin, જેવી રીતે એમોક્સિસિલિન સાથે આનું કોમ્બિનેશન છે, એવી રીતે સેફેલોસ્પોરિન સાથે પણ યુઝ થાય છે, બટ ઇટ ઇઝ નોટ રેશનલ. રિમેમ્બર, વાઇડલી માર્કેટમાં પ્રિસ્ક્રાઇબ થાય છે સેફિક્ઝિમ પ્લસ ક્લેવલિનિક એસિડ લાઇક દેટ, બટ ઇટ ઇઝ નોટ રેશનલ. Rational combination is with amoxicillin, right? So whenever penicillin fails or whenever cephalosporin fails in giving result, the next level of is combination with clavulanic acid, right? So that is all about this beta lactamase inhibitors. Now બે atypical antibiotics છે which are used, atypical beta lactam antibiotics you can say. એમાંથી એક છે મોનોબેક્ટમ્સ અને એક કાર્બીપેનમ્સ છે, right? They are usually short questions ની અંદર પૂછાઈ શકે છે. So first monomobactam usually they are having atypical antibiotic, right? અને એની અંદર છે આપણે, if you have seen the structure, chemical structure, એમાં 2 rings આવે છે, right? beta lactam antibiotics ની અંદર, જ્યારે આની અંદર single ring હોય, that's why it is known as monobactam. Just for your information, otherwise no need to remember. એની અંદર એક જ drug છે, that is Aztreonam, right? Aztreonam is the monobactam and it is narrow spectrum, right? So it does not inhibit gram positive cocaine and it is narrow spectrum. So how we can differentiate? If we have seen the spectrum of beta lactam, positive સામે એની વધારે activity છે, right? જ્યારે Aztreonam નું reverse છે, it is not inhibiting gram positive but more inhibits gram negative. So એનું spectrum જે છે એ gram negative side વધારે છે in contrast to typical beta lactam antibiotics. So usually used for hospital acquired infections, GIT infections, genital infections, જ્યાં gram negative organisms વધારે infection cause કરે, right? So this is how monobactams are used, right? Okay. Third important atypical antibiotic, beta lactam antibiotic is carbapenems, right? Carbapenem, they are used but as a reserve drug, right? The typical beta lactam antibiotics say fail થાય, at that time you can go for using this carbapenems. Any other imipenem, meropenem, ferropenem, doripenem and ertapenem they are used. Imipenem is very potent. We'll discuss salient features of individual compound. Will not go details in each and every one. Imipenem je che, it is very potent, having broad spectrum, but not for MRSA, right? And one important જે એક્ઝામમાં પણ પૂછાય છે, that is combination. Imipenem જે usually cilastatin સાથે combinationમાં use થાય. Why? The reason is that imipenem is destroyed by dehydropeptidase enzyme, જે renal brush border પર enzyme છે, it will inhibit imipenem, right? It will decrease concentration of imipenem in the body. Now if you will give in combination of cilastatin, cilastatin resembles that enzyme, right? So if you give with the combination, right, it is having resembling structure with imipenem, and it inhibits that enzyme dihydropeptidase. So with this combination you can achieve higher concentration of imipenem. So this is the injection imipenem and cilastatin, and this question જે આપણે short question માં pharmacological basis પૂછાય છે, and either it is widely asked why imipenem is used with cilastatin. Usually it is used for the serious kind of hospital infections. Meropenem, meropenem બહુ widely used થાય છે, means as a reserve drug. Widely means not like common, but reserve category ની અંદર widely used થાય છે meropenem, and it is important feature is જે રીતે imipenem destroyed થાય છે by peptidase enzyme, it is not destroyed by peptidase, so no need to give in combination with the cilastatin, right? Wide spectrum છે and used for the serious kind of nosocomial infections, pseudomonas and that. Ferropenem and this doripenem, they are active against pseudomonas and used for serious kind of infections, and the recently derived છે it is ertapenem, right? So baki usually it is also used for the serious kind of infection. Uses બધા almost જે third generation cephalosporins જ્યાં effect ના આપતું હોય, in that case you can use this carbapenem. You can say they are the newly derived beta lactam antibiotics, but they are atypical atypical beta lactam antibiotics, right? So that's all about this beta lactam group of antibiotics. In last previous lecture we discussed about penicillins. In today's lecture we learned about cephalosporins, and then beta lactamase inhibitors, and this atypical monobactams and carbapenems, right? Exam point of view, long question can come from the penicillin groups, right? એની અંદર સેમિસિન્થેટિક પેનિસિલિન્સની અંદર શોર્ટ ક્વેશ્ચન્સ આવી શકે છે. Cephalosporins are thoroughly important both exam point of view as well as practice point of view, so remember each and every point of cephalosporins. And this beta lactamase inhibitors plus monobactams and carbapenems, they can be asked in the this short questions, right? So hope you have learned something from this. Thank you.